Just say your name for the camera.
I'm Gale Brewer, Manhattan Borough President.
And Gale, how did you hear about this event tonight, and what is your involvement in it?
Well, I'm a panelist, and the topic, of course, is disruptive technology, particularly AI, artificial intelligence. I think I heard about it. Obviously, I have a staff, and they probably got reached out to by the amazing Lauren. But also, I was chair of the technology committee during the 8 of the 12 years I was on the city council, and I passed the open data bill and other bills that have to do with tech. So I'm known particularly on data issues, which are related to AI. So that's what people know me for. So it's probably because of disruptive technology and knowledge of technology, particularly on the data side.
So if the innovations in tech in Manhattan particularly want to, be seen by more people or just expand, they have to go through you first?
No, not at all. Not at all. There are five boroughs in the 5 boroughs in the city of New York. Each one has a borough president. Mm-hmm. It's very different than a city council, very different than the mayor, the public advocate, the controller. So no, the answer to that is not correct. People have to, it's a big city. We're bigger than half the countries in the world, bigger than all the states except California and New York. Mm-hmm. So no, they should figure out what they're comfortable with. There's a do-it, there's a CTO, there's a CIO, there's a mayor, there's a city council, and a committee on technology. They don't go through us. We work with the community boards, in particular in Manhattan, to figure out how we can use the data so that they can plan for their neighborhoods. That we do. But no, they don't go through us. They go through whatever is comfortable for them.
Okay, perfect. So you explained that wonderfully to me. And I didn't even know that was a role that the city and the state of New York goes through. Well, I'm originally from Rhode Island, so that's
okay.
why.
That's probably why, yeah, because people here know.
Definitely. So what, for a bill to be passed, what's something that you have seen recently that you've worked on that is passed?
Right. Well, obviously the open data bill, that was an example. You have to be a member of the city council, and there are 51 members, or as a borough president, I can sponsor with a council member. But the bill that we passed, the open data bill, was in 2011. And it was the most then, and I think maybe still now, the most innovative. What it says is that all 80 city agencies, we're much bigger than Rhode Island. Yeah. All 80 city agencies, our budget is $92 billion, just to give you a sense. So all 80 city agencies have to put their data on the open data portal. And that's a big deal. They have to do it by the end of actually 2018. Some people are still working on it, but it's the police, it's the economic development, it's the consumer affairs, etc. And then working with either your own knowledge or hopefully with our office. We do have nonprofits that work with the community boards. We have 12 community boards, little city halls in Manhattan, 59 in the whole city. But only Manhattan, I think, is working on this data. So the answer to your question is this open data bill is now hopefully being used, because it's one thing to have the data, good for the agencies to talk to each other, but it's good also for the community to be able to use it. And we're working with them to peel back the onion and understand how the data can be used.
And tonight, so the theme is AI and tech in jobs, and how people can start seeing new advancements now, but also what to expect in the future. A lot of people, not myself because now I'm educated by everyone here, worry that the advancements are going to eliminate jobs, but really it's to the benefit of everyone else. How do you feel about that?
Well, as an example, the one that you hear about a lot is the issue of the driverless cars. And in our office, we did have a driverless car a couple of years ago, so you're a little bit ahead of the curve. That's usually, obviously, using intelligence. I think each AI needs to be considered on its own merit. You hear, as an example, that driverless cars, if they were national, would save the lives of 42,000 people every year. Now, is that true? I don't know. But just the concept that people get killed because you've got reckless drivers. I know, anybody who's had that, it's happened in my family, so I know how awful it is. So if AI is used for the benefit of the public, nothing could be better. Will driverless cars eliminate jobs? Maybe, particularly on the national highways where you have trucks going back and forth. I believe that's going to be the first place. On the other hand, safety. So, that's a trade-off. I don't want to lose jobs, but I want people to be safe. There's so many examples where AI is all based on the algorithms, can sort of like open data. Can we get the algorithms right? Would it help with teachers doing lesson plans? You wouldn't eliminate teachers, but would the plans be better for the students? I don't know. So I think you have to look at each case. The cars is an interesting one because I don't want to lose the jobs of the truck drivers, but I want people to be safer. So that's a trade-off.
And there's so much to think about too, and it seems like you have so much to do in your day-to-day and just the things you're paying attention to that the average person doesn't think of when it comes to like technology and data and AI. But what's something right now that you see other people doing, or maybe it's a company article you read online that you're very excited about? Not only that, but the future. What excites you?
Well, I have to say that what does excite me is the technology revolution and jobs that are now available. We have heard that in cybersecurity, big topic, thousands of jobs are unfilled. So the question is, how can New Yorkers, I have a friend who trains disabled New Yorkers in wheelchairs, how can they be part of the job and the workforce in technology? So that excites me. There was an article in the paper over the weekend, in the Times over the weekend, about a company in Queens that is doing just that. They are training hundreds of people for these unfilled jobs. People who have records, people who wouldn't normally, people who live in the housing authority, who wouldn't normally, their salaries going from $15,000, $20,000 to $80,000 or $90,000 just after a couple years of training. That excites me. That kind of effort that is successful excites me.
That's wonderful, and it does sound like, my heart goes out to you, and I just think you're doing a wonderful job to make other people's lives better, especially where you live, but I think it's going to affect more people. And I'm excited to hear you speak tonight and more on what you're working on. So thank you for taking the time to talk with us tonight.
Thank you very much. I love podcasts.
Oh, great.